those teenage years are just one rite of passage after another. You might be gawky or awkward or insecure, and it's just as hard for a cheetah on the African plains. Check out how these two cheetah sisters cope with their coming of age. The grasslands of southern Africa, home to a hunter with a unique superpower. Cheetah, the fastest predator on land. With a slender body, long limbs, and highly flexible spine, this incredible athlete is the queen of speed. This is the story of two young cheetah sisters facing the greatest challenge of their lives. They must learn to channel their speed to hunt big game. To survive, they'll need to work together. These cheetah sisters are 18 months old, with a tough path ahead. Their bond, crucial now to their future, was forged as they grew up. They were born into a litter of 5 cubs. Together they spent their days playing, learning, and exploring their world. By the time they were 5 months old, they began to learn the most critical lesson of all: how to hunt. Their mother brought them small impala so they could practice. The sisters tried to catch, to bring down prey, and crucially, to make the suffocating bite to kill. But cheetah cubs are vulnerable. Lion predation and disease took their toll. By the time they were a year old, the sisters were the only ones still alive. And their world was about to change yet again. One day, out of nowhere, 2 adult males arrived on the scene to woo their mother. It was a frightening time for the sisters, but a rite of passage every cheetah cub must face. Males can tell a fertile female by sniffing her urine. And when a cheetah mother gets pregnant, she abandons her cubs. This was the day that marked the beginning of the end of the sisters' childhood. Now, at 18 months old, these hardy sisters are facing the world alone. Unless they can hunt big game soon, they will starve. But it's a dangerous business, and they lack experience. Without guidance, it's not obvious what makes a good target. It's tough being a teenage cheetah, but these gutsy girls keep trying. This time, it's impala that catches their attention. A prize this size would feed them for 4 days. But male impala are twice a cheetah's weight and armed with weapons 2 feet long. A mistake could be lethal. Right now, they have a golden opportunity. These males are gathered for their annual rut, in constant battle for the right to mate. So they're exhausted and distracted. The impala's top speed is 50 miles per hour, but a cheetah can hit almost 70. Her power is in her acceleration. but she can only sprint for 30 seconds. A brave attempt, but they peaked too soon. Getting every stage of the hunt right is a complex challenge, but they're learning from their mistakes. Cheetahs must eat every 4 to 5 days to survive, so giving up isn't an option. This time, they stalk closer. Getting within a few hundred feet of their prey is key. And so is teamwork. The sisters set their trap. The hunt is on. As the prey is flushed towards her, the second sister takes up the chase. They close in. On his feet, the impala is still a threat. Finally, all their hard graft and persistence has come good. By harnessing their unique power, they've overcome their greatest challenge and can now fend for themselves. Together, these fierce speed queens have finally come of age.
Such beautiful animals. Getting that belief in yourself and gaining confidence, that's what growing up is all about. These big cats totally nailed it. Walk tall, fierce queens. Pregnancy is what sets us apart from the males of the species. It's amazing, but it's tough. So what if we could somehow share the responsibility? Well, these next fierce queens have found a remarkable solution.
In coastal waters around the globe, one extraordinary family of fish has achieved the ultimate form of gender equality. When it comes to breeding, seahorses do it like no other animal on the planet. Their fierce females refuse to be left holding the baby. So it's the males that carry their brood. This is role reversal in the extreme. This feisty female is a white seahorse, and she's on an important mission. She has a belly full of eggs, and they're ready to be fertilized. So she needs to travel from her feeding ground to find her mate. He's only 5 yards away, but she's just 4 inches tall and hardly built for speed. It's a treacherous journey. But this talented lady has a trick up her sleeve. She constantly changes her skin color to match her environment, making her invisible at a moment's notice. Finally, she's made it These hanging swim nets provide the perfect anchor point for a date. But this isn't just a one-time thing. White seahorses mate for life. She visits her partner every day during the breeding season. These rendezvous have stimulated her to grow eggs. And now she's ready to mate. But first, they must carry out their daily greeting ritual. She takes the lead and entices him into a game of chase. Once she's in the mood, she initiates courtship. They start to move in perfect symmetry. And as things heat up, she flushes bright yellow with excitement. When the time is right, they'll mate. But here's the twist on the pregnancy. While the female heads out to work, furiously feeding to make more eggs. With a 90% strike rate, seahorses are more effective predators than sharks. Her hydrodynamic snout gives her stealth, while her eyes move independently, allowing her to look forwards and backwards at the same time. Like a super-powered vacuum cleaner, she sucks in her prey, munching up to 3,000 tiny crustaceans a day. As her eggs develop, she still visits her mate every day during his pregnancy. And 3 weeks later, he's ready to give birth. He starts to have contractions that force open his pouch. And like an anxious dad on a maternity ward, she watches on. During a 45-minute labor, this male struggles and strains to expel up to 200 fully formed baby seahorses. But the female's not simply here as a birth partner. Her appetite for sex is insatiable. As soon as he's given birth, she initiates courtship again. And he willingly accepts, offering up his empty pouch to repeat the cycle all over again. It's a mind-bending role reversal, but one that comes with big benefits. By sidestepping pregnancy and getting their males to take this responsibility, these fierce queens can produce twice as many babies, raising up to 1,000 tiny seahorses every year.
Incredible! Seahorses really are the only species on Earth which have evolved this amazing biology. Somehow a tiny fish, reputed to just have a 3-second memory, has figured out gender equality before we have. Who knew? Can you imagine traveling thousands of miles to find a mate, not eating a thing en route, and then taking part of one of the most exhausting courtship rituals on the planet? Well, that's exactly the challenge faced by these courageous, fierce queens.
It's winter in Hawaii, and these crystal waters are flooded with thousands of giants. Humpback whales. These females are some of the biggest fierce queens on the planet. Weighing in at 40 tons, they're longer than a school bus. They've made an epic migration to get here. And now, they're ready to breed. But it won't be easy. To find the best mate, females challenge males to the ultimate heavyweight race. Gliding into Hawaiian waters on 16-foot-long pectoral fins, this female humpback whale has traveled thousands of miles to reach these winter breeding grounds. It's one of the longest migrations made by any mammal on this planet. Her extraordinary mission began in the cold waters of the northern Pacific Ocean. She spent the summer months furiously feeding there to pile on enough blubber to make the marathon journey to Hawaii. But as she headed south, food became scarce. So scarce, in fact, she won't eat again until she finally returns to her feeding grounds. This could be a mammoth 4-month-long fast. It's not clear why these giants make this journey to breed. But despite finite energy supplies, this female must find a mate. Thousands of male humpbacks have also traveled to Hawaii, and the water is filled with their curious song. The song's purpose is still a mystery. But females can't fail to notice there are plenty of suitors around. Which is handy, because to find the best mate, female humpbacks seem to want the biggest selection of males to choose from. This one slaps her massive fins and slams down her tail, a sound that can be heard over a mile away. It tells the other whales she's there. And this Leviathan queen soon gathers a crowd of males. This is the female's moment to test them in an epic race. They set off at breakneck speed, with the female leading the pack. The males follow, fighting for position. The one that can stay closest to her, blocking others getting near, is the most likely to win. Pursuits can last for hours and cover more than 30 miles. It might seem like a chase, but make no mistake, it's the female who's in control. If she turns, they turn. If she dives, they dive. And if she stops, so must they. She rests for as long as she wants, and the males are forced to wait, rather impatiently, until she's ready, and powers off again. with as many as 30 giants in the field. It's a bloody, brutish battle. And while the males try to knock each other out, the female stays her course. In the most grueling test of stamina, as time passes, exhausted hopefuls begin to bow out. Until finally, only one male remains. And the female slows the pace. She's expended a huge amount of energy, but has singled out the fittest and strongest candidate to be her mate this year. With calm restored, new couples make synchronized dives and hang out together, completely still in the water column, holding their breaths for more than 30 minutes at a time. Some people call this falling in love, humpback style, before they finally disappear from prying eyes. "12 months on, pregnant females will make the whole migration all over again. This time to give birth to their 1-ton calves. This is what it's all been for. A miniature fierce queen who will one day lead males in an epic race of her own."
These fierce queens are so huge and so elegant. I'm blown away by their stamina, how they throw down the gauntlet to their eager suitors. What awe-inspiring giants. Dating is that magical time when you're first getting to know your partner, and when they're wrong for you, you just want to take off. Well, you're about to meet a feathered, fierce queen who can. She's one seriously ruthless taskmaster in her search for Mr. Right.
Hidden deep in the rainforests of eastern Australia is a sassy chick who holds absolute power when choosing a mate. The satin bowerbird. She sets her suitors a series of rigorous tests in one of the toughest dating contests in the natural world. Architecture, design, song, and dance. And there's only one judge in this dating game. It's this fierce queen who calls all the shots. This is a female satin bowerbird, one of the most demanding and uncompromising females on the planet. And for good reason. She's looking for the very best genes for her future chicks. And she won't take anything less than perfection. This is the male satin bowerbird. He's looking to win the ultimate prize, the chance to mate with her. But he faces tough competition. In the space of just 2 weeks, she'll make dozens of visits to multiple males as she whittles down the contenders. She's an extremely hard bird to please. His first challenge is to build an intricate bower from twigs. This might look like some sort of nest, but in fact, the bower is the centerpiece to this complex courtship ritual, and the female will only consent to mate within the privacy of its shady arch. Desperate to attract a mate, males spend days building a new bower every year, painstakingly constructed from more than 1,000 twigs. It takes them 7 years to perfect this skill. But with some bowers clearly more structurally sound than others, this fastidious female quickly rules out a potential mate and moves on. This experienced player might just have cracked it. His bower looks great, stable and symmetrical. And he's also covered it with eye-catching blue decorations. Female bowerbirds know what they want, and they just love the color blue. So males will scour the area for anything blue they can lay their beak on. Even plastic bottle tops and straws will be used to win a female's approval. From a nearby branch, this female assesses his offerings, and he tries to impress her with his most prized possessions. But it doesn't take her long to make her decision. His decoration isn't good enough. So she flies on, searching for another flash of blue. A new bower catches her eye. This male's clearly a good builder, and she likes his decor. But that's not enough to prove he has the best genes. Now he needs to pass the next test. Are his performing skills up to scratch? She has a particular love for impressions. So the male mimics the sounds in the forest. But singing alone still isn't enough. This demanding diva wants even more from her future mate. At a bower nearby, she may have found the one. He seems to have it all, and he can dance. But has he done enough? It's time for her final test. She steps into his bower when she's ready to see more, but quickly backs off when his dancing gets too much. The male reads her signals and responds, slowing down his show to suit her. He's proved he's in tune with her. A final flourish seals the deal. It's taken her 2 exhausting weeks of dating and hundreds of decisions, but finally she's found her mate. And after all that, mating itself is over in a flash. Exacting standards like these may seem extreme, but this fierce queen has picked her partner on her own terms. And she's ensured she's mated with the best of the best. Is the man in your life a DIY supremo with an eye for color and a talented impressionist who's got the moves? This choosy chick won't settle for less. Would you?